Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. Today I'm going to talk about how you get tested in dating. What does that mean, right? In other words, when you start talking to somebody and, they're feeling you out, you're feeling them out, they want to see, how much, how demanding you are or how much work they need to put into you. See, most of the time, and especially today with social media and all the options that everybody has, it makes it so easy for people to contact other people. It's not like the old days where you had to go out to a bar or a restaurant or a club and people met face to face. Now everything's online, so they figure, you know what? If it doesn't work out with you, I got 10 other people I can inbox, right? The good old inbox. But the thing is, when you start talking to somebody, they're going to test you to see what you're about. Now, if we're talking in the sense, women to men, men to women, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing, okay? Guys that are just looking for sex are going to bring up sex in the very beginning. They're going to test you. They're going to try you, okay? Like we had one girl in one of our groups that said that she was texting with this guy back and forth since yesterday, and he brought up sex in the text. Now, they haven't even met, and he's bringing up sex, asking her a question about sex, okay? I think he asked her when was the last time you had sex or something. If anybody says anything with regard to sex right up front, and you have not dated this person, a couple of times, nobody should be asking you about sex for at least 5 dates, all right? That is a way that they test you to see how responsive you're going to be to that. Because they feel like if you start talking back with them about sex, they're going to ask you for more and more. Then the next thing they're going to say something to you like, can you send me a picture or something like that? And you send them a picture. Let's say you just send like a regular picture, right? A nice picture that you would send a friend or whatever. Another way they're going to test you is they may say, do you, you have anything else? You have any other sexy pictures or something like that, all right? In other words, they want to see, how far you'll go, because a lot of them out there, they're not looking for anything serious. And believe it or not, they're just using you to get sexy pictures. So, you have to know when to put up that boundary and say, I'm not sending you any other picture. I sent you a picture, okay? Or you send another picture. You send them a headshot or a regular picture that you would wear, in your everyday, going out. You don't send them any too sexy pictures, because right away, now you're switching it off to sex. So the problem is when you switch it off to sex too soon, then they're going to push sooner. And it's not going to give somebody a chance to get to know you and feel that attachment to you, because now they're only looking at you from a lusting type of way. They're not looking at you as, what kind of person you are. They're not liking you for the other qualities that you may have. For instance, that you could have an intelligent conversation with them, that you could talk about different topics and you're knowledgeable, or you could tell them about, your family life, or you could tell them about your work or whatever. Because now, once you start with that sex, it's hard to go back to the initial topics of getting to know someone. When you start with sex right away, you're going to move fast. They're going to expect to move fast, okay? So you got to be aware of how people test you. They're going to test you. And if, like I said, if anybody brings up sex right away, and you haven't gone out with them for at least 5 dates, and they're bringing up sex, okay, that is somebody who's got sex on the mind. And the girl in the group that asked the question, she's like, well, do you think he only wants sex? We're like, yes, okay. Because he should not be bringing that question up to her initially, unless it's a situation where he's just looking for a hookup. He knows nothing else about her and he's bringing up sex. Okay, red flag, red flag. Now, people can test you other ways as well. For instance, let's say that you're talking to somebody and they're saying, yeah, I really want to get together with you. Yeah, we need to link up or hang out sometime. Okay? Now, if somebody's sitting there and they're talking about link up or hook up, that is not necessarily a date. And they know it. They're not stupid. So what they're doing is they're testing you to see if you say, yeah, no, that sounds good. That sounds good. Because then the next thing they're going to say is something to the effect of, you're welcome to come over here. We could, watch the game together, or we could, Netflix and chill or something like that. And you haven't even gone out on a date with them. This is somebody that's testing you, that wants to see just how easy they can get with you without having to take you out, having to spend money, having to have conversation. People want to get to the pleasure. They don't want to sit there. A lot of people that aren't serious about trying to find somebody are going to be just concerned with getting close to you because they're attracted to you physically. So they don't care about anything else about you if they're just looking to get with you sexually. So you have to know the difference, and you have to know when somebody's trying you, okay? Now, another way that people test you in dating is when they're not consistent with you, whether it's calling you, texting you, or anything like that, and you're just responsive to when they do contact you. For instance, let's say they tell you, oh, I'm going to give you a call tonight at 8:00. You don't hear from them. You don't hear from them all night, okay? Now it's the next day, and they don't contact you till like later on in the day, okay? And they call you up and they make like nothing, all right? They are testing you. They are trying to see if you are somebody that they could get away with, saying that they're going to do something and they don't follow through. And I'm going to tell you why they do that. A lot of times, not everybody, but a lot of times they're testing you because they want to see if they can make you one of their circuit so that they could date you. And then when they have to go see somebody else, the next night, you're not going to be stalking them or looking for them. They know that you're going to be taking that call the following day, and you're not going to worry about the fact that they didn't call you that night, okay? So they're testing you to just see, are you up on the game or are you not up on the game? Do you know what's up or you don't know what's up? See, there's a lot of people that don't understand this. And a lot of people get mad and they say, I don't understand. They ghosted me and everything like that. Okay, they ghosted you, but what was your reaction to it? When they did finally contact you the next day or the day after that, were you receptive to their call when they ignored your texts? See, right there, your power goes down. Right there, your power goes down because now they are treating you as somebody who is not important in their life. And you're sitting there and you're getting on the phone with them and you're making like nothing because what a lot of people do is they try to make like it doesn't bother them, okay? It doesn't bother me. I got things going on too. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. But if you allow that to continually happen, it's going to keep happening more and more. In other words, what you allow is what you're going to get back. So this is why I tell you all the time, you guys, you have to communicate. Because if you don't communicate and you don't let them know that, I'm not somebody that is looking to waste my time. I'm not somebody who's looking to play games here. All right. Because I'm going to tell you, if you don't communicate and let's just say you go with the flow. All right. You decide, okay, well, I'm going to do back to them what they do to me. You know, they were supposed to get back to me. I texted them last night and they never responded. Now I'm going to wait 3 days to get back to them. Now you wait 3 days. Now we got game going on, okay? Now you wait 3 days to contact them back. And guess what? Now they're going to wait another week to contact you back. So now what do you got? You got this back and forth nonsense of you guys just touching base with each other, and time is going by. You're really not getting to know each other because you're not talking consistently on the phone to get to know each other. So what is this? This is breadcrumbing. This is, game playing. And the thing is, the best way to deal with somebody who's playing games with you is to call them out on it. You got to call them out on it, all right? And let them know. You don't sit there and try to pretend like, oh, it's not bothering you or nothing like that. If somebody is telling you they're going to do it and they don't follow through, you have to let them know. But you do it in a nice way. You don't come off bitchy. You don't come off stalkerish. You don't come off like as a crazy, desperate person. But you let them know. You let them know. You let them know that, you know what? When I'm trying to get to know somebody, I try to give that person a lot of respect. I give them my time. I'm a busy person, and I would appreciate the same common courtesy back. Okay, so now what you're doing is you're throwing the ball into their court, and you're letting them know this is what you expect when you're trying to date somebody and get to know them. So now they know that they cannot play games with you, that if they start to play games with you, you are not going to deal with that, okay? And that's when I tell you, you let them know once. Now, if you have told them, what you expect in getting to know them, and they break that boundary, you let them know, okay? You let them know. You say, this is not getting to know somebody. Talking to somebody every couple days or once a week or something like that, this is not getting to know somebody. And my advice is, if you're dealing with somebody like that from the get-go, most of the time, that person is not serious about getting to know you. That's somebody who's the laid-back dater, okay? And I did a podcast on these type of people. I call them the laid-back daters. These are people that, like you, will contact you, but will not contact you consistently. They're going to contact you when it's convenient for them, okay? They're not making you a priority. They're doing what's good for them. And if they're contacting you, intermittently, it's because they are talking to other people most of the time, unless they have something major going on in their life. But don't let anybody give you an excuse and say, I had so much, I had to paint my mother's whole house or something like that, all right? Because people can always communicate and let you know that. But if there's a lack of communication on their part, they're not that interested, and you have to pick up on it. You don't chase that person. You don't sit there and have to repeat yourself 42 times and let them know. You tell them once and you let them know you mean it when you say it, okay? Now, if the person bounces on you, in other words, they feel like they're not going to deal with you, then you know what? You're doing yourself a favor, because now you have somebody who's not going to waste your time, because that person would have fizzled out down the road. If they're not putting the time in the very beginning, when the attraction is the strongest, like when you first meet somebody, you are like a blank. You are like, they see you, they see a picture of you, and they fantasize in their mind how they look at you, okay? They don't know your flaws yet because they haven't had a chance to talk to you and get to know you. So right now, you have like a perfect scorecard, so to speak, okay? And the more that you talk to that person, the more they may find that there's things about you that maybe they're not too keen on, okay? But that's okay because we're all human and nobody's perfect and we're all going to have flaws. So, this is what I mean. You can't have a perfect, vision of somebody. When you go into dating, you have to have an open mind. Okay? You have to look at somebody and say to yourself, well, I'm attracted to them. They seem nice from what I know, but the jury's still out yet, okay? I still need to see what this person is about. I need more information to make a decision whether this person is worth my time and whether to put my time into this person, okay? So this podcast is about how people test you in dating. Now, another thing that people may test you in dating, okay? They may try to do something to the effect where they also say to you, well, I really want to meet you. I really want to meet you. Even if I meet you on the corner for 5 minutes, let's just meet quick and everything. That is somebody who is a big, huge waste of your time, okay? If they can't even plan something, even something small, go for a slice of pizza, go for an ice cream even, okay? Go for a drink even. But if they're telling you, let's just meet real quick, just so we can get that initial meet over with. What they're doing is basically they just want to see what you look like. So they're going to base whether they want to continue dating you just solely on your looks. Just solely on your looks. That is somebody who's superficial. That is somebody who's not really interested in seeing the other parts of you, the inner you of who you are as a person. They're trying to see if the sexual side of you is going to be satisfied because they're more concerned on the sexual side of you rather than if you could be a good person. So you need to be aware of that. And that's why I tell you also, you have to, have conversations with people. You need to have at least 5, 6 conversations before you go and you meet somebody. Because number one, you want to see if they're serious about getting to know you. And if they are, they will get on the phone with you consistently every day. It doesn't have to be for a long time. It could be a half hour a day even, okay? To show that they're serious in getting to know you. Now, people will come back and they'll counter argue this and they'll say something like, well, people have busy lives and everything like that. Not everybody could do it Listen, if you want to be in a relationship, you need to have the time to put into a relationship. So if you're dealing with people that are not putting the time into a relationship or giving you excuses about they're busy here, they're busy there, I would tell them, listen, sounds like you're too busy to really get to know me or to be in a relationship with, okay? That's not somebody that's making it a priority to really get out there and meet somebody. Either people are serious or they're not. Bottom line, there is no playing games here, okay? When people start with the excuses and this and that, this came up, that came up. Listen, we all have busy lives. You're not the only one. We all have busy lives. But when somebody is serious about wanting to get to know you, they will make that effort. So remember that, you guys. Don't sit here and make excuses for people. But like I said, you have to communicate, but it's the way you do it. You have to do it, in a very nice, very mature, very classy manner in letting them know, I really would like to get to know you. We need to talk and I'd like to see what you're about and everything like that. The only way we're going to know that is by conversation. I'd love to get on the phone with you and let's talk, And you see how receptive they are. You see if they're willing to get on that phone. And like I told you guys in prior podcasts, if somebody won't get on the phone, that is a huge red flag. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. That means that usually they have somebody. All right. And especially if it's in the evening where they could be with their significant other, or even if they have situationships and everything like that, Or they tell you, well, I'm a texter. Well, you know what? You really don't get to know somebody by a text. It's completely different when you get on the phone and you speak to somebody. You feel somebody's emotions as you talk to them rather than a text. I had a situation like that with this girl who she was texting back and forth with this guy, and she met him online, and she finally got on the phone with him. And when she got on the phone with him, she was like, he was totally different than what I pictured from texting with him. So her friend told her, well, you know what? Just go meet him. Just go meet him. And she was like, no, I don't think it's a match. I could tell by talking to him. It's not, I know in my gut, we really weren't clicking on the phone. See, here's the thing, you guys. When you talk to somebody on the phone, you get a feeling of whether you're you're getting along with somebody. You're able to vibe with that person. It's back and forth. And when you're texting somebody, it's very cold and informal. You don't really get that emotional feeling that you would get from being on the phone. So that's why I tell you it's important. And especially if somebody is serious, they want to know what you're about. They want to see, if you're a happy person, if you're a sad person, if you're a depressed person, if you're a self-absorbed person. Okay, they're going to care about that because they're looking at you for more than a hookup. So keep all of these things in mind when we talk about how people test you in dating. Now, another thing I want to bring up, okay? And this is about first dates, when you go out on the first date. Another way you have to be careful when you're going out and you're meeting somebody is sometimes you go and you meet somebody and they seem very nice. Now, remember what I told you. It's all new. It's in the beginning. Everybody's nice in the beginning, right? But when you go out on that date, let's say that you go for a drink somewhere. Okay, you go to a bar, you go to a restaurant, you go to a place for a drink to meet. You finally had your conversations, everything's going well, and now you're going to meet that person for a drink or whatever. When you go to meet that person, you have to be in control, okay? Especially in the beginning. Because number one, you don't know who this person is, all right? Many of serial killers and everything like that were nice in the beginning. You don't know this person from a hole in the wall. A very good thing, too, is to always, find out who this person is before you meet them, okay? Find out who they are, okay? And you might even want to Google them or do like a little check on them before you even go meet them in a public place. Always in a public place and take your own transportation. But when you go and you meet them, sometimes you meet these people and they'll be ordering rounds of drinks. Why are they ordering rounds of drinks? They want to see how loose you're going to get. So you have to stay in control. I've had people that have come to me that have gone and met people and they ended up having too many drinks and one thing led to another and the attraction was strong as anything and they ended up doing things that they regretted, and then the next day, you know what? They didn't hear from that person, okay? And, it moves too fast. When, once you get to know somebody and you could trust that person, then you could let your guard down a little bit and, you could party with them if you get to that point where you're, you know who you're dealing with and you've dated them enough and everything like that. But in the beginning, I have to stress this. This is so important, you guys, even for safety issues. You have to keep yourself in control. And if that means, drinking water in between each drink or whatever you have with that person, you want to stay in control. Because some of these people and a lot of these players, they're going to try to loosen you up and they're going to try to, keep feeding you drinks. Can I get you another drink? This is what they do. Can I get you another drink? Can I get you another drink? And you're sitting there and you're looking at them and you're saying, he's really cute and everything like that. Sure, and you're nervous and everything, and you figure out, you know what? I'll have a couple of drinks just to loosen up and everything. And before you know it, you're too loose, okay? And you've lost, your sense of judgment. Not that you're sloppy drunk or anything, but, you're not focused. You're not focused in what you're there for. And, to date with a purpose, not to, have something happen that shouldn't happen. And then you look back and you regret it. So that's why I'm telling you these things. And this is how people test you. They're going to see, can they feed you drinks and loosen you up and get something off you? So you got to be aware of that as well. Now, another thing I want to bring up. Let's say you're starting to date this person and this person is starting to get a feel for who you are. They're seeing that, okay, you're not just a fly by night. You're not just a hookup person, all right? You're somebody that, they have to work for, that they have to earn. And a lot of them will put on the act like, oh, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, no, I really like you. They're going to tell you everything in the book and make you, some of them are really convincing. You got to be careful. Some of them are really good actors and they're going to say everything. Why? Because they want to keep you in their circuit. So what they're going to do is you're going to go out with this person once, twice, maybe 3 times, and you haven't slept with this person. And now they're starting to see, you're not breaking easy. You're not breaking easy to get into the bedroom. So what they're going to do, like I've said in my benching podcast, is they're going to bench you. Then all of a sudden, when they see by the 3rd date that, you're not, spreading eagle on the bed, then they're going to say to themselves, I'm not putting a lot of effort into this one. I'm going to put her on the side and I'm going to go see, Cheryl down the street, and I'll come back to her as time goes by, and then I'll try again, and more time will go by, and her guard will be down, and she'll feel like she knows me more. So that's why I tell you, if they're not consistent in seeing you and talking to you regularly, don't even waste your time. Don't even waste your time. You're dealing with somebody who's going to, just play around with you, because what they do is they fool you into thinking they're so into you and everything like that. They'll tell you everything under the sun. They'll tell you how beautiful you are and, how hard. Then they play the victim. Oh, it's so bad out there. These women and everything like that, it's really hard to meet a nice girl and everything like that. Okay, so, don't buy into that nonsense. And you got women I got to bring this up too. You got women out there doing the same thing, playing, and testing the guys. They're going to see what they can get out of them. You got women out there that will use men just to take them out to dinner. Okay? So what I have to say to the guys is, if you see a woman and she's, she's jerking you around and she's not consistent with you and she's like flaking out on you, then you're dealing with somebody who's, not serious in getting to know you, that she probably is seeing other guys as well. She may have a guy that she has sex with on the side and she's using you to take her out to dinner. So you have to be aware of these things. And the only way you're going to know is if that person is getting on the phone with you consistently every day, and if they're consistently seeing you and there's not those breaks, okay? That's how you know. When there's breaks, in other words, they come on strong and then they make excuses and they don't see you for 2 weeks or something like that, or they make an excuse for this or they make an excuse for that. I mean, I get things come up in people's lives, but if your gut is telling you it's not right, then it's not right. If they're not making an effort to see you regularly, then you got somebody who's either not all into you or somebody who's playing games with you, okay? in which case you don't give that person your time. You don't take that person seriously. That is not somebody that you put all your effort into. So you got to know how people are going to test you, and they're going to see what they could get out of you. Because unfortunately, in this world, there are a lot of users. Okay? Everybody's out for something. Everybody is out for something. So, you have to be aware of what is this person's interest in you? What do they want from me? Do they really look at me as somebody that they want to get to know? Or are they just looking at me like they want some kind of benefit out of me? Like if you're a woman, maybe they want benefit of sex, or even they see you have money, they may want a benefit of, some kind of fringe benefit of going out with a woman with money. Maybe they feel, that you'll pick up the tab, or they can move into your place. And if you're a guy and you're dealing with somebody who's, testing you and everything, you got to look at it like, is this person really into me? Is she really, asking me questions about me? Does she seem interested in the conversation? Or she's not really interested in the conversation. She's just there for the meal. Like I had a girlfriend, years ago. This girl, oh my God. Very good looking girl, blonde, big boobs. I mean, like very sexy girl, okay? And she used to have a lot of guys that she was dealing with. And what she did was every time she went out with guys, she made sure they took her to like one of the most expensive restaurants out there. And on top of it, she ordered the most expensive thing on the menu because she had an attitude like, well, if you're going out with me, you're going to pay, and I'm ordering the surf and turf, okay? I mean, she was a bloodsucker. She really was a bloodsucker. But there were some guys that were willing to do that, okay, because they wanted to get with her. So, I mean, you have to know who you're dealing with at all times, you guys, all right? And she used to test those guys to see who would take her to these places and who wouldn't, okay? And she would only deal with certain guys that would take her to these places. And on top of that, she had one guy, she was like sucking him for every dime, like in a sense that she was like saying to him, I need money for this. I need money for, I went to the boutique and I put $400 on the side. I need you to go pick up this and that. And she would test out who was willing to do that for her and who wasn't. Okay, so this is how these people test you out. And you got to be aware of whether these people are really interested in you for who you are, or they're just looking for something out of you. Okay? And when you feel that you're being used, you got to check these people. You got to check them, okay? And you got to let them know, no, okay? No, I am not the one. I am not the one, okay? You want to talk to me? You want to get to know me? Great. And then you see if they say, oh, no, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know you. Okay. Are you going to talk the talk, or are you going to walk the walk? Let's see. Now, let's see if, Now you kick back. You don't tell them what to do, every single step of the way. You step back after you let them know what you expect, and you see if they follow through. And when I mean follow through, are they making an effort to be consistent with you and see you daily? Are they making an effort to talk to you? And are they taking an interest in what you have to say? Okay? This is key, you guys. This is key. This is going to tell you who's real and who's not. Because the ones that aren't real can't keep it up. Believe me when I tell you, okay? They can't keep it up. They really can't. They don't want to be bothered. They rather just move on to the next. It's too much work for them. They're not into having a relationship. They don't want to put the work in. They're just looking for one, quickie, and that's it, all right? So it's not what comes out of their mouths. It's what they show you with their actions and their consistency and seeing you regularly and, not being a flake, all right? So you got to watch somebody. You'll know when somebody's sincere and when they're not. When you're sitting there and you're wondering, why haven't, did they get my text? They got the text. Believe me, they got the text, okay? Don't sit here and say, oh, I don't know if they got the text. They got the text, all right? They're ignoring your text for whatever reason, because they might be on the phone or talking to somebody else, all right? If they're taking too long to call you back, they're probably on the phone with somebody else, okay? You gotta see how these people are. And the other thing that I want to bring up is this as well. If you are dealing with somebody, right, and you call them and then they tell you, can I call you back in 5 minutes? I just have to do this one thing. Can I call you back in 5 minutes? If that person calls you back past an hour, that is a huge red flag. And they get on that phone and they don't say, I'm sorry, something happened or whatever. And they just contact you and, after an hour and they make like nothing, or they contact you the next day and make like nothing. You're dealing with a zero, okay? That is a zero. That is not somebody you could rely on. That is not a person of their word. And that is somebody that's going to jerk you around. Don't waste your time, okay? Now, another thing I want to bring up, because this does happen, and I did mention this in another one of my podcasts, one of my earlier podcasts, is when people will test you for money, okay? These people are the most dangerous ones out there, okay? They're more dangerous sometimes than the people just looking for sex. So you need to be aware of that. And when I say dangerous, I mean in the sense that, somebody who's out for money is somebody that you got to really worry about. That's somebody you got to worry about. If you bring in your place, they're going to rob you. That's somebody, that could be a scammer. That's somebody that you cannot trust, okay? So the reason I'm bringing this up is I had a friend of mine. She went out on a date with this guy, right? And I think it was the second date that she went on with him. And he asked her, he asked her for $4 because he wanted to go. He said he was short. He wasn't getting paid till the next day. And he was short to get a pack of cigarettes. Okay. All right. So she ended up giving him the $4. All right. We all laughed about this. We had a nickname for him. We call him Mr. $4. All right. But the point is, okay, we said, you should have just got out of the car. That was it and everything like that. But, she's a nice person and she ended up doing it. He never paid her. And we told her, this is how it starts. First, he's going to ask you for $4. Then you gave up the $4. Then the next time he's going to maybe wait, 2 weeks, a month, maybe sooner. Next will be $20. Oh, I'll pay you back, this and that. Then the next thing he's going to see what else he can get out of you. So anybody asks you for money, delete, block, okay? They should not be asking you for money whatsoever. They're going to test you. They're going to test you. So never, ever, 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 ever give anybody money. And I also had a very good friend of mine that I used to work with in the Facebook groups. My friend Kyle. He very good looking guy. He's a really good looking guy, and he was having a hard time meeting women. He used to say, these women are so flaky. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. He's like, I used to show them attention and then they'd say he was clingy. And then when he didn't show them attention, they would say, they didn't hear from him. He's like, these bitches all got attitudes. And I'm like, well, it's because you're hitting the wrong ones. You're hitting the wrong type of women, okay? And he ended up talking to this girl out in Iowa who was a very pretty girl. And he was talking to her for a couple of months. Now, he met her through a Facebook group, okay? And he was talking to her for a couple of months. And he thought, at that point, he could trust her, whatever. They were talking a few months. And she asked him for $400. And he, being a nice guy, went and sent her $400, only to find out that she was scamming everybody in this particular Facebook group. She had a couple of guys that she was scamming for that money. And the best is, you guys, she had a boyfriend. Okay? So this is what I'm telling you, all right? Anybody asks you for money, delete, block. Believe me, listen to me when I'm telling you, all right? They're out there, and, remember, the devil doesn't come as your enemy. The devil comes as your friend. So you need to be aware of that, okay? Never trust anybody. Never, okay? You don't give anybody money unless you're married to them, all right? Or, in some cases, family, you got to be careful. In some people's families, I've heard stories. But here's the bottom line, you guys. People are going to test you. So, you yourself, have to know what you expect. You have to know yourself and know what you expect. And you can't just be one of these people that, I'm just going to see what happens. See what happens, okay? Because what you're going to end up doing, if you're one of these people that's just like, I'm going to go with the flow and see what happens. What's going to happen is that person's going to take the lead and do what they want because they feel you have no boundaries, and they're going to treat you any which way they want, and you're still going to be sitting there. And the more that you take from that person, the more you're going to look like a sucker, all right? And the more they know they can get over on you, and they're also going to lose respect for you, all right? Remember what I told you. People don't love you if they don't have respect for you, okay? So I hope that helps you. And if it does, please hit the subscribe button and please share the podcast with your friends too. Okay? And have a great day. Are you having a problem in your dating or relationship life and you need a question answered? Well, go to my website. The link is in the podcast description, and you'll see how you can ask Yaz a question and get it answered confidentially. So go to the podcast description and look for the link where it talks about how Yaz will answer your question. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz. I want to tell you about my 2 books that are on Amazon, okay? You can download them free with the trial membership from Kindle. The first book is Regain Your Power. If you're in a relationship and you feel like your partner has all the control in the relationship, maybe you're walking around on eggshells, you're afraid to approach them, it's going to tell you how to regain your power and be happy in the relationship, okay? And what you may be doing wrong, and that's why your partner has all the control in the relationship. The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time. There's a lot of people that are dating someone or in a relationship with somebody who's not really vested in the relationship. And we often are confused as to whether our partner really likes us or is into us or wants a future with us. And this book is going to give you signs and red flags of whether your partner is into you or he's just basically drifting and wasting your time. So go to Amazon and download the Kindle free trial membership. Doesn't cost you anything. And check it out. It may help you. Okay? And have a great day.